Oh, hey, hi, hello. That was my little vampire hello. My name is Jared Logan, and you are watching Stream of Blood tonight. Chapter 13 of our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade tabletop live stream. Vampires of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, a city that is steeped in gothic mystery. We're so happy that you guys are here. I want to remind you, if you're tuning in and you haven't already, click the little heart on Twitch so that you follow us on Twitch, and make sure you get on our Twitter at Stream of Blood, and on our Facebook group and on our Instagram, but especially the Twitter and the Instagram, because they tell you when things are happening with Stream of Blood. We add extra games all the time. Sometimes we have to change our schedule, like we did this week. This week we took part in the Twitch blackout that happened on Wednesday. And this is to protest a lot of the harassment that is taking place in the gaming community, and on these kind of live streams, or among people involved in these live streams. Guys, when are we going to start treating each other like human beings instead of like objects or jokes? I mean, it's so important, and if it sounds prosaic, it's because we have to say it over and over. I just wanted everybody to know that we here at Stream of Blood find that kind of behavior unacceptable. And if you ever want to ask us a question about something that was said on the stream, we are an open book. So please email us, or send us a message on our Twitter after you follow that, and let us know, if you're concerned, or anything like that. We want to really be a positive part of any community that we belong to. And while I'm on my liberal soapbox, let me also say that we do not have a Patreon on Stream of Blood. So what we would love for you to do is go to joincampaignzero.org, and instead of giving money to us, give a little money to them. Don't have to give a lot. Give whatever that you think that you can. $5, because we think that the fight for more rights for people of color in this country, and to end police brutality in this country, is extremely important. And it wasn't over last week or the week before when we decided that we all wanted to get on with our lives again. It's still happening. I mean, if you're one of the people that's privileged enough to have the time and the agency, go to these protests, participate peacefully, of course, although that I don't even needs to be said, but also just give a little money to Campaign Zero in the name of Stream of Blood. We would like the horror to stay here in our fictional Pittsburgh, and not out there in the real world where we all have to live. There's enough horror out there anyway. There's a virus floating around right now that none of us have any control of. That's pretty horrible. It's almost worse than being a vampire, almost, if you get it. So let's keep the horror here in our fictional Pittsburghian vampire game, and not out in the real world where we all have to live. Really quickly, I want to also plug our upcoming shows. Tomorrow night, we have such an exciting show. We are doing a crossover with the Glass Cannon Network. These guys have a phenomenal podcast. They do a lot of streaming. They play the Pathfinder role-playing game. Fantasy D20 games, puh, you may say, because you're a hardcore vampire fan. Well, these guys do an incredible game, an incredible job. They have a great cast. There they are. And our own baby Ross Bryant's going to be part of it. Boy, this weekend, everything's coming up Ross. Everything's coming up Ross this weekend, because we're also, tonight is a very Ross-themed episode of Vampires of Pittsburgh. But as you can see, we are going to be playing a game called Blades in the Dark. And you guys, this game is the new hotness. It truly does approach tabletop role-playing games from a totally different perspective. It has all kinds of really cool rules and mechanics, and it's got an incredible world that's just filled with ambiance and mystery. So I'm really excited to run it. I'm really excited to do a crossover with those Glass Cannon guys, and I really hope you'll tune in at 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's Saturday. Tomorrow, I think it's the 26th, 6 p.m. Pacific. And of course, every Sunday.
27th,
oh,
Jared,
wait.
27th.
And he's muted as usual. The 27th. Everybody, wait, no, Clint, don't go away. I want to introduce our special secret storyteller in every episode of Vampires of Pittsburgh. He's a key part of the team that helps me not only write the storylines, but also helps me game master and storytell while I'm doing it. Please welcome our secret storyteller, Clinton Trucks.
Am I muted?
Okay, Clint, now you would say something. No, you're not muted. That's great. So far you're doing really good at this co-host thing.
Great.
And now you would say something funny or like mirthful. Maybe like, do you have like some kind of little catchphrase you could do every time you pop up?
And you can tattoo that on your butthole.
All right, you aren't muted, but you are a little delayed. But I love you can tattoo that on your butthole. That's a great catchphrase. That's good. We can go with that for now. We can workshop that. Okay, bye, Clint. Clint's going to be popping up when my face inevitably freezes like it did last week, and I become an egg for, 3 minutes, and everybody in the chat is like, what happened to Jared? Is he having some sort of fit? No. He just needs to refresh his browser. Clint's going to pop up to tell me that. Guys, I think that's enough business out of the way. Let's bring in our phenomenal cast. First of all, she is an actress. You've heard her do voices in video games. She also is one of the stars of Apple TV Plus's A Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet, and she's just a really cool person to know. Please welcome, playing the Thin Blood Vampire and current, her company has not been stolen, tech CEO, Jen Brown. Please welcome Ashley Burch, everybody.
In honor of Ross Bryant.
Become Russet. There it is.
I'm excited for this Curtis themed adventure.
Yes, it's gonna be very Curtis themed. That means there might be themes of addiction. There's probably going to be like a lot of kind of like shaky but steely sort of smoldering going on, and I'm here for all of it.
Yeah.
But Jen is here too to join in as well. What are you thinking is going to happen to her tonight? How can she aid Curtis?
Well, Jen and Curtis did have a little bit of a moment in Elysium where he almost did a line of something, and Jen talked him down.
Yeah, he did a line of blood that was filled with some other drug, I think. Yeah.
Or he was encouraged to, mix them, and I sort of talked him off the ledge. So maybe that sort of role again, or I don't know, maybe we're going to get into some hijinks like y'all did last week.
Maybe Jen is Curtis's sponsor, but for blood.
She's deeply unqualified, but she's going to try her best.
You know what? Trying her best. That's all we can ask of poor
do.
Jen Brown. Thank you, Ashley. Let me bring out tonight's spotlight actor, and he's one of my favorite role players to play games with. He is a member of the Improvised Shakespeare Company. He's been seen on such television programs as The Good Place and many more. And god damn, he's just a really great player of games of the role play variety. Please welcome Mr. Ross Bryant, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm blushing from so much praise. It's really too much.
I know. I lay it on thick, but I mean all of it. You can tell it's sincere, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
You've caught me reading The Curious Lore of Precious Stones again.
Yeah.
Because as I'm going slowly mad in quarantine, things like this will pop out. So just follow me for a second.
Yeah.
When this weird little coincidence became apparent. So this is a book about the magical, mystical, talismanic properties of various precious stones that have been attributed to precious stones throughout the millennia.
Right.
So of course, not only are there birth stones, but there are also name stones, gems that have a particular resonance with a particular name. Now it turns out that one of these names is Roland. Now, the Latinate form of Roland is, of course, Orlando, the first name of the character that I play in the Cthulhu game that you run, Jared.
Right, the Neptune Society, yes.
Yes. Now, what is the precious stone associated with that name, you might ask? Ruby.
Ooh. Well,
Ruby, that's the name of your pit bull, Curtis Krieger's pit bull, Famulus.
Coincidence? Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's the sort of fun that I've been having.
I am not surprised you're reading The Curious Lore of Precious Stones again, because I find that book is one you finish and you just want to read over again.
Oh, you find something new every time.
Curtis Krieger, he's been through a lot. He's had some issues with his adoptive sire. He's been tempted to go back on his commitment to stay off the drugs.
Mhm.
What do you think is going to happen to him tonight? Is he ready for it?
I feel like Curtis is always hanging by a very thin thread, and it's only through the centering properties of being called to acts of violence and activity,
Yeah.
or the makeshift community he's formed around himself in the form of Miles and Jen that are holding him back from becoming the beast.
Yes.
Whether that is animalistic or drug-addled, because he had no idea that you could remain an opioid addict while still being a vampire.
I know, that really sucks.
That is a profoundly dark detail.
Vampires just have a lot of drawbacks, and they keep a lot of the drawbacks from being a person too. But you guys make it look good. So with that, I am going to say, for now, adieu to our friend Miss Ashley Burch, aka Jen Brown, and I am going to start Curtis on his journey of discovery. So we begin the scene in Lonergan's Irish pub in Shadyside. You're in a booth with your adoptive sire, the renegade, the Camarilla Gangrel, Churchill Jackson. The sheriff of Pittsburgh. There he is. Mm-hmm. Churchill, he's a dapper man, but he always wears suits that look like they came straight out of 1979. And Churchill is sitting with you in his booth, and there's another vampire there. Frankly, it's a kindred. Way back here in the back of Lonergan's, it gets kind of hazy. It gets kind of dark and shadowy, and you don't even have to hashtag become russet when you're back here. You can kind of, so you know that the woman sitting beside him is one of the kindred. And Churchill has called you here to give you a little bit of information. And he says, Curtis, sit down.
Yeah, I'm not used to being summoned. I'm more used to just kind of bumping into you.
Yeah, well, don't think of it as a summons. We're just going to have a chat. Do you know Lara? And this is a kindred that you met very briefly in Elysium in one of our chapters. She's like a tall, willowy blonde woman.
Oh, yeah. I think our paths have crossed, yeah. But no formal introductions made.
It's good to see you again, Curtis.
Hey. So anyway, what's this about?
Well, what's this about is, when I first took you on, it was because I think that there is a war coming. And I need soldiers for that war. And you seemed like someone who might be prepared to engage in something like that. But frankly, over the last few weeks, I'm sorry, Lara, could you excuse us for a minute? She's like, okay. She like drifts to another part of the bar. He's like, frankly, over the last few weeks, I've come to see your coterie as a liability.
Listen, I know we've had some stumbles and some thrashing around, but I think given what we had to work with, we've done about the best we could. We didn't know we were going in a situation where a werewolf was going to attack us. We were led into we followed leads given to us, not knowing what was waiting for us on the other end and being thrown into the lion's den. I think we did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Maybe you did. You certainly showed a talent for improvising.
That's what it takes. We had me and some of the guys, when I was in the service, you can make plans, but when you make plans, God laughs. You prepare so you can improvise when the shit hits the fan.
Well, you believe in God, huh? Even Now,
I don't know that I believe in much, but I believe that when you make plans, they have a tendency to fall apart.
well, I believe that people make things fall apart by being sloppy, by being reckless, by being selfish. I understand you believe in a higher power, but I believe in chaos. And it's my job to herd the cats. So the reason I brought you here, all right, I need you to listen carefully. All right, Lara, come back over. The reason I've brought you here is because there's been a breach, a masquerade breach here in Pittsburgh. And I think you're uniquely in a position to help me with it.
Okay.
And maybe show me that you can be on the front line in this upcoming war.
Yeah. Okay.
Laura here frequents a club in Brookline. It's part of her territory, given to her by Button Gwinnett. And Laura, her club, well, why don't you tell them about it, Laura? I mean, you know, it's sort of a place where everything's on the table, you know. I mean, BDSM, blood play, you know, the things people are afraid to tell their friends about. They do them in the places where I hang out. Right. Except that Laura had an interesting visitor to the club, someone who'd never been there before. Only last night? She nods. A friend of your Jen Brown's? A woman named Sabrina? The current CEO of Grouper Technologies?
We've met.
Yeah, she came in like she clearly isn't someone who lets loose.
Uh-huh.
And she was asking a lot of very interesting questions. And I will say that the word kindred definitely passed her lips. I did my best to sort of make her look elsewhere, but she seemed very curious. Now, why would Sabrina, Miss Brown's friend, be using the word kindred, Curtis?
I mean, I don't know the answer to everything. I mean, wasn't that company that she was a part of, when that guy, weren't they?
Griffin?
Yeah. When that Obadiah Griffin character trying to buy them out? Who knows
He
what
was.
sort of crap you let slip?
Right. Well, that may be. And that may be what you find out when you go and talk to Jen Brown and her friend Sabrina. I want to know why she's walking around my city shouting, kindred, kindred, kindred. And regardless of what you find out, I'd like to talk to her myself.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure Jen is a very intelligent person. I'm sure she wouldn't let anything slip.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you something, Curtis. It's the smart ones that are very dangerous. So go and have a chat with her. Find Sabrina. And get her back to Lonergan's tonight, if possible.
Bring Sabrina back here.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. All right. I'll make you proud of me. And I stand up and I walk away and just walk to the door, and you might see just a shadow rise up from the door and start to follow my pace as I walk away.
Right, yeah, your pit bull, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so you and Ruby, head out into the night, and it's late in the summer in Pittsburgh. People are out on the streets. It's shady side, so a lot of people are moving about, and you can kind of feel the heat of them as they before you wouldn't have had exactly this experience on a crowded street, but now when people pass you, you just for a moment you get that kind of feel of heat that you would get from being very close with someone as a human. It just kind of suddenly sparks out at you for a second. And right now your hunger is one. I think you've recovered from any ordeal that you had with Miles. That happened a little while ago. So tell me how you want to go about this. Where do you want to find, Jen Brown might be back at the Haven, or you may have another idea.
Seems like I just got to get Sabrina to talk to Churchill Jackson. And I'm also nervous about putting a wedge between me and my companion. Also curious why she would know anything. So, I got no aside. I wouldn't know anywhere else to go, but back to the Haven. And
great. And I think that when you arrive at the Haven, Jen Brown is there. I think we can. Yes. Great. So you arrive at the old abandoned mattress factory in Mexican War Streets. It's still a sort of burnout husk of a building. But now you guys have at least organized it a little bit. You've got everything where you need it. And instead of one little bedroom on the lower floor, you've got multiple places to sleep, and you've secured it from the sun because a little time has passed. You've had time to do this. And Jen Brown, what would you be doing on a given night right after rousing, an hour or two after rousing?
I think I'd probably be scrolling like an actual person, scrolling through my phone a little bit to just sort of check in on Grouper and anything else and if anything weird has come up in the city. I'm just sort of checking in.
Yeah, and before we go any further, I think I want to ask you just a few questions. I think that Sabrina sensed the ordeal in your episode, in the episode where she was dominated, and then you offered her your blood. And you and I discussed this a little bit off camera. Since then, she has been not staying at her home. She's been staying in that extra apartment you have where you've been doing work and work on your company, and you have a good internet connection, etc.
Sure.
And she has been acting completely normal to your knowledge, except for the fact that she wants the blood. Like, she asks for it. And it's made the relationship kind of strange and awkward, but she still acts like herself. And I'll ask you right now, are there any specific instructions you've given her? What have you told her about what's happening? I want to know that from you so we get it right.
So I think I would have told her that I think I would have been honest about the reason that I'm doing this, which is that I specifically don't want to break the Masquerade. And the only way to prevent that would be to do what I'm doing, assuming that it would work the way that it works with other people. Right. And I think probably at this point, I would have assumed that the ghouling was as effective as it would be with any other vampire. And that she would be adhering to the Masquerade.
Yeah, so you're a thin blood, so you maybe didn't realize that the blood would not. And by the way, I want to be clear. It doesn't mean your character's silly or missed a step. I think a lot of thin bloods don't know this. Thin bloods don't always go around going, I'm a thin blood.
Right.
They think I'm a vampire. My powers work a little differently, So I think that, you might even think that the blood bond or the effect of ghouling is working because
That's what I think, yeah.
Yeah, she is coming back and she is asking for more blood. So you would have told her about the Masquerade and would have told her to be careful not to break it.
Yes, and I think I would have assumed, since she seems addicted to it now, that the ghouling worked. I don't think I would assume otherwise.
I don't think you would either. So let's see what happens when Curtis Krieger arrives and how he handles this.
All right. Yeah. So come in.
Hey, Curtis.
Quiet night at home.
Oh, yeah, I just woke up. You're out already?
Huh?
You've been out already?
Yeah. Hey, can we have a little chat?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Can't help but think back of our memorable evening of a few nights ago. And your friend, she been coming around here?
Who, Sabrina?
Yeah.
No. Why would she have?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe to your other place.
Yeah, she's been staying there.
So things are copacetic. You guys are good and close.
Curtis, what's going on?
Look, I need to ask you what's going on, because your friend's making some waves that they shouldn't be making.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it from the higher ups at Elysium, that she's talking to people that she shouldn't be talking to about the existence of a certain type of being that, you know, they shouldn't be doing.
Shit!
I'm saying that if you got her on a leash of some kind, you might want to tighten it up. What's going on? I'm asking you now. What's going on?
Okay, look, you know that lapdog that your sire has, or your adopted sire has?
Yeah.
I tried to do the same thing to Sabrina. She saw everything. There was no way we could let her go without either killing her or doing the same thing. And I thought...
How long has this been going on? She's sucking you? I'm sorry. No. She. What's the delicate? You're giving her the juice.
All of these are approved and trademarked by Stream of Blood. Everybody. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. How long you been giving her the juice? Huh?
Just since that night. Have I been giving her the juice?
You have. And in fact, I'm going to say, Jen Brown, I think that Sabrina has been asking to feed so often. And since you're not quite sure how ghouling works, you've been doing it for the most part. And I'm going to say your hunger's maybe at like 2 right now because it's gotten a little exhausting. She's been asking for it a lot. I mean, look, to be adults about it, we can all see how this would complicate a friendship. Maybe we can't see how it would, actually. Maybe we're like, good Lord, you know? So all I'll say is that she's been acting normal, but you are worried about her. And you're worried about your relationship with her, your friendship.
All right. So has that kind of description been given to me, or you?
Sure. Yeah.
She's coming to you a lot.
Yeah, but I thought that's just how it worked. Look, I know I didn't think this through, but I didn't know what the fuck else to do. I'm not like these other.
What you're telling me about what she does, her behavior, I'm sadly all too familiar.
I know.
With that kind of behavior. But it sounds like, hey, look, if you're getting your taste from somebody and it's not pure enough, then you might look for a rival dealer.
Who told you?
Huh?
Who told you that they saw her?
Who the fuck thinks? Who has eyes on this kind of thing? Who's the most invested on keeping a sense of law and order and protecting the secrecy of everything that's going on? I don't need to tell you. I think you're smart enough to figure it out on your own.
Where did they find her?
A club called, what's it called?
It's called Insomniac.
Okay. A club called Insomniac. I heard of the place, but
I'm gonna just do a quick
never
search
been.
as Curtis talks so that I find out.
Yeah, Insomniac is a club in Brookline, and it's got a history of some weird articles about it. It's a club and an underground kind of community. It's a dungeon community.
Fuck. How would she even know where to find Kindred?
Have you been talking to her about us?
No! I fucking told her what's going on because how else? I'm having her suck my blood. What? But I told her not to say anything. I told her that we would figure it out.
Well, once you get a taste for it, you'll say anything to get more.
What does he want to do to her? He wants to kill her, doesn't he?
Your friends become a liability.
Curtis, I'm not like them. I can't kill her.
I don't know what they're going to have us do.
You think they're going to fucking keep her alive?
Look, I'm not them. I don't know. I mean, we could try to convince them to complete whatever bonding process you've started in a way that makes her keep her fucking mouth shut. Maybe, I don't know. These people seem pretty cagey on how and who they give the gift to.
Yes,
but I don't see many paths that don't end in this particular liability being snuffed out. So if you want to stop that from happening, then you got to be real persuasive.
You're on my side, right?
Look, this comes back to you. I want to keep you safe. If she fucks up, then it's on you.
But you're not just going to bring her to him, are you? You're not doing it just to get in his good graces, are you?
He already knows. They already know.
But he told you for a reason. He could just go get her if he wanted. He knows where she is.
Don't do this to me, okay? Don't do this to me. We gotta stay safe. We gotta stay safe, don't we?
I get that, but he's playing you.
What am I supposed
see that, don't you?
What am I supposed to do? Ignore it? Walk away? He's gonna come for me then. He's gonna come for you.
I just want to know that we're on the same page, that we're on the same team.
Listen, I'm doing this because I want you to be safe. I want us to be safe. I understand that she's your friend, but if I do nothing, she's definitely dead. If I bring her in, then there's a slight chance that maybe we can offer her a way out.
I think that we should roll something. So I'm going to ask.
Good job, Kevin.
No, that was amazing. But I think that we should. I think that that's such a good question from Jen Brown that I need to know. What does Curtis know? What he's doing this for? Does Curtis know what his plan? Like what he has Curtis decided what he's going to do yet?
I mean,
you could say no. Maybe he doesn't yet.
I think he's too torn. I think he's so. I've come to that he's dog-like, you know. So it's
yeah.
Like if he wants to be treated like a good boy, so he's like and he wants to prove that he's good to the people who give him attention because he's so starved for attention. So so he's torn between two people who do it for him, and he wants to please them both, and he can't please them both.
Yeah. So Jen Brown can make a let's see. I think it'd be a wits plus how would she know that? Insight. A wits plus insight roll. And then she will know that that's where he's at and how he's feeling. And then we need to I think it's time to make a decision. Are we going to go together to confront Sabrina? Is Jen Brown
2 successes?
2 successes. So you know where Curtis is with this. And I think Ross has had way more insight into his character than I ever could as the storyteller. He's saying that, Curtis wants to please. And so he's trying to figure out a way to please you and Churchill Jackson. Does that make Jen Brown break with him in this moment? Or does it make her go with him? Because I think now we need to decide if we're confronting Sabrina.
Right.
I think I'll just look. I get it. Okay. I know we're in over our heads. I know we have been since the beginning. I know this guy fucking knows everything.
Then we got to take her in.
Can we try talking to her first and see if it gets anywhere? I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying it's smart to let her wander off on her own, but maybe we could see if we could handle it first.
Let's go to her then.
Okay.
Okay. So the apartment we established is also in Mexican War Streets. It's a small one. But now with your grouper salary, maybe you could upgrade pretty soon since you saved your company. Why has Sabrina been staying there? Well, for a couple of reasons. One is she was recovering from what happened to her, and you were helping her. And the other reason is that, there were people that came gunning for her, so she probably didn't want to stay at her old place. So you arrive, and it is a second floor walk up, kind of like dingy yellow walls in this kind of old kind of building with some character here in Mexican War Streets, where there are a lot of old kind of funky buildings. You are now standing in front of the door to 203, apartment 203, the apartment that you're using as sort of an adjunct office. So tell me how you go in and how you confront Sabrina.
I'm gonna open the door, and
Your
First
cat
things first.
jumps out of the way.
first things first, I want to, without even saying anything to her, I'm gonna go to the fridge where I'm gonna say, I think it's fair that I have a stockpile of blood and booze.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I'm gonna put one in the chamber, so I'm gonna drink
Uh-huh.
to kind of prepare. And where is Sabrina in the apartment?
You don't see her.
And I would like to be there as well.
You are, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys decided to go together. So you're looking in, and this apartment's really like a little bedroom room, and actually a bathroom off of the main room. A bedroom and a separate bathroom off of one big main room, and that room has a tiny kitchenette. And so you very quickly, I think it's so funny that Jen Brown immediately goes for the booze and is taking it in, but as that finally starts to wet her lips, the blood and the vodka, she becomes aware that it's very quiet in here.
Sabrina?
There's no answer.
I walk into the apartment and look around.
You see that they have set up two workstations in this main living room area, as opposed to setting up any kind of like couch or like living room situation. Jen and Sabrina both have like kind of workstations here, with nice computers, good setup. The router right out there on the floor. And the apartment has nothing in the fridge because Jen has the fridge open right now, except for booze, like mini booze bottles all over the counter and bags of blood in the refrigerator. And then there's not even any food.
Is there a place where Sabrina is like sleeping?
Yes. So if you go into the bedroom area, there is a bed. Jen and Sabrina did set up a bed. Please stop me or add details anytime you want, Jen Brown. It is your space. Yes, there is a bed in there.
I want to look. I want to see if I see anything that might strike me as suspicious, or especially anything that connects her to this insomnia place.
Great. Well, in the bedroom, you kind of look around, and why don't you make an investigation roll?
Yeah. Damn, investigation. Where's that?
Intelligence. Oh, do I always say? Yeah, no, it's there. It's on the far right column, and add your intelligence to it, please.
The film. Oh, come on, Internet Dice. You can do it.
Quite all right. I can roll for you if you'd like.
I mean, you might have to. This is
It's a simple roll. I probably should have just let you succeed. I think that what I'm going to tell you And don't worry about the dice. Sincerely, I probably, often I'm like, roll something because rolling is fun, but a lot of times we can just let people notice things if they go and look at them. You notice that Jen has set up the closet in here to be like extra reinforced with like a lock on the inside, so that if there was some kind of issue, she could kind of get in there and it's like pitch black in there. That's what you notice in the bedroom.
Okay. Okay, cool. Seems like your friend isn't here.
Shit.
Any idea?
I established in my spotlight that I have a trace on her, basically, right? Because that's how we knew that she was a grouper. So I feel like I'd pull out my phone.
Right. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So maybe you look at that right now.
I think I do.
Yeah, and I will tell you, since you're looking at technology, that Sabrina's workstation is on as well.
Okay.
You trace her, and that's instantaneous, right? That's like find my phone kind of. So you see that she is. Let me see if I can find the neighborhood. She is. Yeah, it's I think it's in Lawrenceville. It's a spot in Lawrenceville. It's a commercial district. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock right now. So it's kind of weird for her to be out running around on a school night. No, she just you don't know where she's gone. As far as you know, she was going to stay here and work.
I've seen you check. Like, think we maybe ought to pay a little call.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure out exactly where she went, and I'll go over to her workstation.
Okay, great. Yeah, why don't you just give me one technology roll? You're just looking up things that she recently looked up, because she is a tech CEO, so she doesn't like leave her computer open to the pages that she visits all the time.
Right.
Just give me an intelligence plus technology roll.
Is it fair that my hunger is down to 1, maybe, since I took a swig of
that
fair. Juice? Okay, great.
It's fair, yes.
It ain't my fault. 3 successes.
That's plenty of successes. In fact, it is enough successes for me to give you all of this information. You find that she is using a browser called Tor that allows her to access the dark web.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And in fact, you, with your 3 successes, are able to find her on like a sex fetish type website where she has written the following post. Actually, this post is days old, so she might have been checking it. Might have been checking her account here. It says, blood addiction. I have been consuming human blood for 6 weeks and find myself unable to stop. Up to now, I have been consuming the blood of one person, but now I find myself thinking about finding other sources. Need help. Not something I can go to AA for. Afraid to go to a doctor. How do I stop? Why can't I stop? And she was checking that post that she made days ago. For some reason, she was checking it.
Are there responses?
There's a message in her inbox.
I open it.
Yeah, the message says as follows. Yes, it says...
Oh, God.
I know about the kindred. I know what you're going through. I can help you. Can we arrange a meeting? I am in Pittsburgh.
And that's dated today?
It is.
Does it give a location?
It does. It gives a location of a coffee shop in Lawrenceville called The Bureau.
Fuck.
All right. I think time is of the essence here.
Yeah, okay. Can we say that Sabrina's car is parked here since Jen's is totaled, and we can... Oh, no, she probably drove it there.
She probably drove it. So
do we still have Curtis's car? Do we have any cars left?
You have... I think only Miles still had an automobile.
Yeah.
the meeting that
Roll
they
for
have set up?
lift.
Yeah, the meeting that they have set up looks like it's taking place. Like it looks like she just found the message and responded like tonight, like while you guys were talking over in your haven. So it looks like if you go now, you might be able to do something. Unfortunately, no Miles. And we can assume Miles has his car. So I know that this feels almost absurd, but how do you get over there? And how do you get over there quickly?
Can we use a car service?
Yeah, can we call a lift?
Yeah, absolutely. You call a lift. In
our current world, this is a fantastical occurrence.
Right. Isn't it fun to fantasy role play?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The person just shows up and takes you in their car places?
Really,
Yes,
a mystical
absolutely.
world of make-believe.
A middle-aged woman drives up in a Ford Taurus. I guess you didn't spring unless you sprung for the deluxe car.
XL.
Yeah, and they've got the little logo in their window, and they're ready to go.
After you, Curtis.
Okay, I get in the back seat behind the driver.
Okay, good.
I follow.
Hey, is it okay if I bring my dog?
She
She's very
goes.
well behaved.
She turns and she goes, "Sure."
Oh, shit. You didn't
Hey,
get
are
paid.
you okay?
Fuck.
Ah!
God damn it.
God damn it.
Hashtag get
I
paid.
knew it.
Fuck.
Here, I'll tell you what. Rather than make this the focus of the session, why don't you tell me how you smooth this over and what you do?
Jen is perma-pink. Is that right? She's all
That's
am
over.
right.
perma-pink.
Her thin blood makes her perma pink.
Yeah. I think fucking A. Like it's a service animal. I've got a condition. Don't worry, it's not a catching or anything.
All right, but you can add a tip on that thing.
Oh, don't worry, I will. And I look at Jen and I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, when Curtis doesn't get pink, I think we should describe what Curtis looks like, because vampires, even though they're all pale as corpses, Curtis looks like a guy in like final stage, overdose. Luckily right now he doesn't have any of his Gangrel visual attributes that he gains if he frenzies. So this woman is just like really kind of taking her time driving you, despite the fact that she feels nervous with you in the back of her car. So I'm not trying to make this into a comedy, but I do think like this is the kind of problem that you would run into. Like she's driving like an old lady. You've got to get there now. You've already made her nervous. I want to know what you're going to do about it.
I can offer her more money, or we could try to persuade her to step on it.
What do you think? Which one do you want to do?
I mean, let's see if we can persuade her to go faster. Or we have money talks. I don't know.
Yeah, I could be like, I've got a 50% tip if you break the speed limit and get us there as fast as possible.
She looks back and she's like, "Fine by you. I don't want you in my car any longer than I have to have you here."
Great.
And she starts to speed up.
Just like trying to cover my face.
It's really still not very fast. Like you can tell that she's kind of maybe being slightly more aggressive.
Oh my God.
By the way, Sabrina is there now, like undoubtedly. Like that, she saw that message maybe an hour ago now.
Okay.
I'm not very intimidating. You might need to do something here.
I try to. I'm not very intimidating either, actually.
Oh, really? Is Miles the one?
Yeah,
Miles is
the one.
very intimidating when he wants to be. Yeah.
But I am. Do I get a sense of her? Oh, fucking A.
No, ask me questions.
Do I get a sense of her like working class Pittsburgh vibes?
Yeah, you do. You do. I mean, she seems like she might be from an outlying area who kind of drives into the city to make her living. She's got a cross hanging from her mirror. It looks like it's like a Catholic symbol. So she's probably one of the many Italian heritage Pittsburghers who live all over this area.
Okay. I'm from. Do I know a Catholic school?
I think that there's every reason you could.
Or I've never thought about this aspect of his childhood.
There are many Catholic schools in Pittsburgh, so it stands to reason you'd know one.
Oh, perhaps one I've attended NA meetings at.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, in the gym.
Hey, you go to Sacred Heart of Mary?
She looks back at you and she's like, "I know it."
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought maybe I seen you there. I don't know. Father Tim is the best.
You know Father Tim.
Yeah. He I don't know. Has some words of wisdom that have helped me out through hard times. Like I say, it's hard what with my condition and all, but I am on the mend. I tell you, the power of prayer does incredible things.
My sister's son, she's been through it too, son. She's been through it too. Hold on. And she starts to kind of weave through traffic a little faster. And pretty soon, wow, you didn't even use any mind powers. Pretty soon, like you find yourself in front of a coffee shop called the Bureau, and it's got the look of coffee shops, when 10 o'clock is hitting. And again, people are putting, your life as vampires, it seems like people are always putting the chairs on the tables just as your day gets going. So there are people inside in uniforms putting the chairs on the tables.
Okay. We hop out, thank the lady. God bless. Look around.
Remember that tip.
I'm giving it to you now.
And I'm looking for Sabrina.
Great. I need a wits plus perception, not perception. I'm sorry, wits plus awareness roll.
From both of us?
That's fine. You're both there. Yes, you may both make the roll.
Wits.
Come on, Diddy.
2 successes.
Great.
7 successes.
Whoa!
Critical success.
Holy shit.
Critical success and not a messy critical.
No, just a critical success.
Wow. So here's what happens.
My eyes look real good.
You immediately take in the coffee shop. It's not big, and they've got those fluorescent lights up there. It's empty. Like they've already told everybody they're closing. And then you look way down the street and you see a shape that looks like Sabrina. And you see a man, and they're on either side of a car, and the man's got a key fob out like he's opening the car. So whoever she met, they're going somewhere. What are you going to
do? Maybe I feel like you're the one to call him back. If that's our move, because we can't chase him down because we ain't got no car.
Well, they're down the street, but they're visible. You could run there. Run there. I'm just letting you know, Curtis. You spotted them with your eagle eye under a lamp post. You can see them.
I command Ruby to run up to them as though she's a stray, and just start snuffling around, and just jump up and like, hey, hi.
Yeah, Ruby kind of looks back at you for a second and then goes off like a shot, like just kind of sinuously speeding across the street tarmac until suddenly you see her kind of jumping up onto this gentleman, whoever he is. He's too far away to kind of see clearly now, and you can see Sabrina. It's clearly her hair is sort of distinctive, like you can see her looking back in your direction, and then you hear her kind of shouting at the guy and trying to open the door of the car. So, what would you guys like to do now?
Shall we close the distance?
Yeah. Are there
I-
people around? Are they going to see us sprinting at these two people?
There are people on the street. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock and it's in a busy area. So, yeah, there are people on the street.
Very late in the game, I would like to become Russet.
Great. No problem. I mean, nobody has, like, it's really for when you're, like, kind of engaging with somebody, walking up to them and talking. Like, if you just walk past them quickly, you're okay. So, here is what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Everybody starts rolling dice. If you want to get up there quickly, you need. So you're both running there.
Yes.
Give me an athletics roll. I think a dexterity plus athletics roll, and let's see what happens with our gentleman here.
It's not great for me, but we shall see. Oh wow! Okay, 2 successes.
3 successes.
Great. You are like, you've closed half of the distance. Jen Brown is right behind you, and you see the man pull, like he's like clearly terrified of a pit bull that just came running at him. I don't care if it's chewing at him or not. His eyes are wide. He looks like Wallace Shawn or Paul Giamatti.
Nice.
He's like a short, bald guy with sort of a impish face. He's wearing nondescript clothes. Like a sport jacket and jeans and a t-shirt underneath, but he does now, and he has successfully managed this maneuver. Pulls a tiny .22 pistol from his pocket, and he's kind of he's reacting to Ruby. And I'm gonna see something else.
Don't fucking touch my dog.
I know.
You shit heel.
Okay, Sabrina is having trouble. Sabrina's having trouble getting into the car. She's like struggling with it. Yeah. So, okay. And, I guess you guys are going to continue to run, but tell me if you want to like kind of alter it or give me any other specifics.
I would like to, as we're running forward, I would like to try to, since I'm juiced up, I would like to try to compel them both to get inside the car and sit calmly.
Okay, great. That's great. Let me find your little. You're juiced up. You've got one in the chamber.
I got one in the chamber.
Yeah, and so you're going to use compel. So give me a charisma plus dominate roll in just a moment. And Curtis, what are you going to do?
I just want to close the gap and get control of that guy's gun.
Okay, I tell you something. I'm gonna even let you grab the gun or like kind of have an attack roll if you can give me three successes again on that dexterity plus athletics roll. All right. So go ahead and roll those things.
I failed my roll, by the way.
Oh,
really? Okay.
Total failure.
So Jen Brown yells out behind you, "Get in the car and sit quietly," or however I'm sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jen Brown. And as you're doing that, you just realize like I'm just a person yelling. Like it's so fucking frustrating to be only half a vampire sometimes. Let's see. Okay, I have very bad news, but at first I want to see how Curtis did. How'd you do?
4 successes.
Hey,
okay.
That's plenty. So the gun comes down and he puts it, because you didn't tell Ruby to attack. You told her to kind of just approach, and
right.
He puts it right to her head. No. And he's pulling the trigger. And you realize it's a 22, so it's not going to make a huge bang. You know what I mean? And as he does that, you're there. So I'm going to allow you to do an attack or something this turn.
Great.
Because you got 4 successes on that roll.
I want to wrench the gun away from Ruby's head and I don't know how many things I can do at once. Yeah, I just want to do that before I start shedding blood.
That sounds fine. And I'm going to say a very low difficulty dexterity plus brawl roll to do that.
There we go. Okay.
Mana.
1 success.
1 success.
Yeah?
You you only barely manage to push the gun away, and it
Blows her ear off.
bang, like it pangs down into the pavement, and he's looking up at you, and he's like got a look of horror on his face when he looks up at you. Inconceivable. And now he looks like he looks very scared. That's all I can tell you. He looks very frightened when he sees you.
I want to grab him by the collar and just be like, "You heard the lady. Get in the car and sit quietly."
Okay, and Jen Brown, what are you going to do this turn?
Am I at Sabrina now?
You are, you can be up to Sabrina. Yes, you definitely are there. And she never was able to get into the car. I guess he didn't unlock it before a pit bull leaped on him. So, you can start talking to her or dealing with her in any way you like.
I'm going to grab her arm and go, Curtis, keys.
Okay, I pull the keys out of his hand, the fob.
Oh, okay. That's a whole different set of things. So I think that Jen can definitely grab her and say, Curtis, keys. And now, Curtis, do you want to intimidate him like you said earlier, or do you want to get the keys off of him?
Once again, intimidation, not my strong suit.
Yeah.
I think it's better if I just yank him.
Okay, you're going to try to just yank those keys out of his hand. I'm not
Or maybe I can see if I can fully disarm him.
Right. Give me.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to me.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You can get them both. Maybe you can get both things. You just need to give me a lot of successes. So give me another dexterity plus brawl roll. I'm going to tell you that he is just suddenly talking in Latin. He's like, Anno Dominis, he's talking in Latin to himself very quickly. Okay, go for it. No, I imagine that you don't. Give me that
Once
dexterity
again, it
plus
is
brawl
one
roll.
success.
One success. I'm going to say only enough to make one of them drop from his hand. Do you want the keys to drop or the gun?
I think fuck it. I'll just keep control of the gun. It's in both our hands.
One success is enough to keep control of the gun. That's what you're able to do this turn.
Okay.
So that's what he's doing is he's kind of praying in Latin. Sabrina starts pushing you off of her, Jen Brown, and is like, get the fuck away from me. Get off of me. I know what you did to me. Get the fuck off of me, Jen. And it's starting to become a little bit of a scene here in the street. Jen Brown, what would you like to do this next turn?
Okay, I'm going to try to. I'm assuming I don't really have any more juice in the chamber, but I have a pretty good charisma persuade situation. So I'm thinking I might try to be like, Sabrina, calm down, and we can talk about this in the car.
Okay, great. So you'll make your charisma plus persuade roll this turn. And Curtis, what are you going to do? You and this guy are kind of fighting over the gun.
Well, I may not be intimidating, but I have someone who is. I would want to command Ruby to just put her teeth right in his nards, and
that's what you're gonna have her do.
Slowly begin to close her jaw.
Oh Jesus! Okay, that seems like an effective move.
I think that'll shut him up.
Okay, let's see. All right. Interesting.
Also, he tried to shoot her. So
yeah, fuck this guy.
Fuck him.
Yeah. So how did it go, Jen Brown? How'd you do on your roll?
5 successes.
5 successes. So she's under your control, not under your control, hypnotized, but she's fine. We can talk about this. Where do you want to put her? Where you want her to get in the car?
Yeah, I want to get everyone in the car with that guy not driving, so we can get away from this place where we're making a scene.
Great. You and Sabrina are in the back seat. Is that okay? That's where you've taken them. Okay, great. So now it's the two gentlemen outside, and Ruby did do well on her roll, and
Good
suddenly
girl.
she's biting down on the guy's crotch, and he's like, ah! And
I'm just gonna go. Shh, 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 shh.
He gives up the gun. He drops the keys, and he's just like,
Relax. If you relax, she's relaxed. If you relax, she's relaxed.
Who are you? What's happening?
That's not important right now. Why don't you hop in the car? Come on.
He starts walking toward the driver's side.
I open the passenger door.
Are you going to steal my car?
Who said anything about stealing, pal? Hop in the car. Or perhaps you like my dog to finish your dinner.
He gets into the passenger's. Yeah. He's like, okay. Shh, nice doggy. Easy doggy. Okay. And he gets into the passenger front seat.
I shut the door. I open the back door, and I have Ruby hop up in between Jen and Sabrina, so that her head can just be like hovering right over his.
Yeah.
And then I get in the driver's seat and pull away.
Okay, great. You're now driving through Lawrenceville. The lamp lights are flashing past people on the street. It's a crowded night on the streets, so you're not really able to like kind of zip. Where are you headed? Are you headed anywhere?
I'm headed to the pub.
Ah, very good. Okay.
And if I can take a route that takes us away from prying mortal eyes, I will do it.
Intelligence plus drive, please.
Okay.
While we're driving, can I talk to Sabrina a little bit?
You can, of course. Please do. Actually, right now. Yeah.
Sabrina, who is this guy?
He said he could help me. I don't know what's happening with us, but it was too much, and
Sabrina,
I'm feeling really weird.
I told you. You're fucking going to public places, asking for kindred? Do you want to get yourself killed?
Look, I think I might feel better if I can just can I drink? And that's when the guy in the front seat goes, "Stop! You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't, Sabrina. Listen to me. You don't have to do that. I'm here to help you. Remember,
This is
I'm here."
Sponsor, shut up!
What? No, I'm here to help her. She said she needed help. That's what I do.
Curtis, I this guy to shut the fuck up.
Hey, man. Let's relax. I thought I said relax. I got one success on that drive roll, by the way.
Okay. So I'm going to say one success, not quite enough for you to like zip there instantly. So
great.
You've got like a kind of a 20-minute drive ahead of you, maybe a little more because of all the traffic. And he goes, I have a card. Can I show you my card, please? Sorry, but can I please show you my card?
Pass it back to her.
Okay. He opens the driver's glove box and he pulls out a taser and hits you with it.
Great.
Well, maybe he does. Yes, that's right. Well, maybe he does. Let's see if he does, right? Okay. So he pulls out a taser out of his glove box and immediately like nails you with it.
Cool.
Let's see what happens. It is a bit of a surprise attack, so I'm gonna make him make the attack. You have your hands a little full, Curtis. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have him make the attack, and then yes, no, dude, no, go ahead. What do you think?
There's a dog head right there.
There is, and I think that dog head might make him pay for that. Actually, that dog head can do something this turn. This man and the dog and Ruby can do something this turn. So Ruby is going to. What is she going to do?
Rip his fucking hand off.
Okay, great. Well, I got some bad news and some good news, which is she just needs to beat the amount of successes he got to make sure that you don't actually get shot with this thing. So he made 4 successes on his little roll. So let's see how Ruby does. She has a little bit more. She has a little bit more of a dice pool than him.
She got the drop on me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, Ruby!
Ruby bites into his hand and like the taser goes like off, but it's like
right by my...
yeah, but his hand is like there's like blood now in the car because Ruby is ripping his hand open. Wow. Okay, new round. What do you want to do, Curtis, driving along at 35 miles per hour through crowded city streets?
Jesus fuck. Is there an alley or a side street or anything nearby where I can like cut the car over and park?
Sure, there. You're in a city. There's always maybe an alley or like a side street. So I'll just need a 3 success driving roll to get over there, kind of instantly this turn.
And that's
And
intelligence plus drive.
I think no. This time, let's go dexterity plus drive. And Jen Brown,
That's
what would
more
you
like-
like to do this turn?
I mean, Ruby's probably got it well handled, but is it safe to say that I have like? I don't think Jen's a big gun gal, but I have a knife on me or something.
I don't know. Let's see. Let's have Jen roll her intelligence plus melee. Certainly possible that she would have given herself weaponry between, the beginning of our sessions and now. But let's see if she has thought to bring it with her tonight. If she has been smartly like arming herself up each time.
All right.
Intelligence plus melee.
Let's see.
Ruby.
Total
God bless
failure.
you.
Okay, total failure. All right,
I'm sorry,
I don't have
Jen
one.
Brown's just not the type of person who carries a knife.
Also,
right
2
now,
successes
she
on
could
my
be in the
drive.
future. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay, so Jen Brown, that was a takes no time roll. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to put my hand on Sabrina because I'm assuming that this might make her freak out. So I'm going to like put a hand on her to be like, fucking keep it together without saying that, but just sort of like
Okay.
steadying her.
Yeah,
And-
you can make actually her freaking out now would make things a little harder. So you can make another charisma plus. Let's go with persuade roll to kind of keep her together. And let's see how that goes. So go ahead and roll that. 2 successes on the drive roll. That's pretty good, but I told you needed 3.
Yeah.
So you are very annoyingly kind of stuck, like trying to take a left turn over into an alley as this guy is like trying to rip his hand away from, let's see how he does. He's got to get his hand free. Okay, and then so he got 4 successes, and now here comes Ruby. Let's see if she's able to keep his hand. Oh no, Ruby did not.
Oh.
So here's what happens. He yanks his hand free. You didn't say that you had locked the child locks or anything, did you? No, I don't believe you did. Okay, making
Didn't-
sure. I
don't
just
know
want to make
this
sure.
car. No.
He opens the passenger side door and rolls out into the street to get away from all of you. And how'd your keeping Sabrina together roll go, Jen?
I got 3 successes, but it doesn't seem that important now.
It doesn't seem that important, but I will say that the moment when you turned and made her look at you, she was going toward the blood that was all over the back seat, the back of the front seat. She was going toward it and then you kind of whipped her back. And she's she's breathing heavily and looking you right in the eyes. Okay, new round. This
hell.
guy has rolled out into traffic.
So it's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, and it's just packed with traffic. Damn it.
Well, I mean, you're pretty much heading into
is this
shady
nightlife
side
stuff?
Yeah,
or-
it's nightlife, and
Okay.
and you're kind of in the really kind of congested part of town. I mean, it's
Okay.
not New York City, but it is a city. So,
So,
there isn't so much traffic that you can't complete your maneuver this turn. You can get into that alley now if you want, or you can do something else since circumstances have changed.
Yeah, I want to. This guy can't get away. Is he running track? Is he running up onto a sidewalk? Is he?
Right
Running in
now,
between
it
cars,
looks like
or-
he's getting up and he's going to run through the moving traffic, which is honking at him. Like he's running toward headlights.
Great. He must be stopped.
Looks
I
like
think
that's what he's going to do. We'll see if he succeeds at it.
I get pink.
Uh-huh. Give me that
And-
rouse roll.
It's just one dice, right?
Yeah,
It's a
one
success.
die.
Success.
Right. Okay. Success. So, Odo. I'm sorry. So you're chasing him, and you have gotten pink. Now I need that dexterity plus athletics roll to chase him, and he's going to make one as well.
Okay.
And what would you like to do, Jen Brown?
I think. So is the car stopped?
The car is kind of, yes, because the driver's getting out of it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Then I don't know if Ruby listens to me, but I kind of want Ruby to stay in the car and watch Sabrina.
She'll stay.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm
otherwise.
gonna go with Curtis because I feel like maybe with the two of us we could try to cover this up and get him back in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so you're like, so Jen Brown's going, Ruby, stay, and Curtis, you jumped out of the car. How'd you do on your successes?
3 successes.
Oh, let's see here. 1, 2, 3 successes for this little guy. So you guys are currently running through traffic. You're running after him. You're sprinting after him, and he's like, booking it through traffic.
Okay.
There he is.
Yes. National treasure character actor Wallace Shawn.
Yes. And as you chase him, you can see now that he's trying to get out of the middle of the street. A smart move. He's trying to kind of curve over to where there are some lit up shops and bars. Not Lonergan's, unfortunately. Other little lit up shops and bars. So what are you just continuing the chase? Continue to just truck after him?
Yeah.
And Jen, you're out of the car now chasing as well?
Yes.
Okay, I want dexterity plus athletics from all of you. And I want to just remind our characters that I don't believe that Jen can do this being a thin blood. But if you wanted to, Curtis, you could rouse your blood to gain an extra, an extra point temporarily of dexterity that might help you. I'm just throwing that out there.
Interesting. And how do I...
It's another rouse roll. If you fail, your hunger goes up.
Okay.
But you would, I think for a kindred of your generation, which is 13th, you would only have it for it might be a scene or it might be less than that. I just have to look at my notes.
All right. I'll do that. And I just add one more dice.
That's right. You'll add one more dice to your abilities. Here we go. Wait, I want to make sure I know how long you'll keep it. Let's see here.
Okay, I succeeded on the rouse roll.
Okay, you succeeded on the rouse roll. Great. You don't
and then
get
I roll again for the extra for the I just add that to the dice pool.
Yeah.
Great. I got 4 successes.
Let's see how this guy does. Okay, that was the only roll you get that for, that blood surge. But it treated you well because you got 4 successes to his 3 successes. So as he gets to the sidewalk, you're on top of him. Now it's time to start tangling with him however you want to. Jen Brown, how did you do? You were still running, right?
I only got 2 successes.
Okay, so you're still coming along behind them, no problem. And Curtis, you're at the sidewalk with this guy. What are you going to do to him?
I want hand on shoulder, and gun in back, and I want to steer him away from people into an alley.
Great.
Pivot him down the sidewalk if anywhere it gets dark.
I think that you are doing an intimidate roll. If you're doing that, you're going to get extra dice. You have a gun to his back, so I'm going to give you 2 extra dice. So roll your, let's see, what makes you scary, actually? Because you're being scary. You're not being charismatic. Roll your composure plus 2 dice for just putting a gun to someone's back.
Okay.
And that'll be your intimidation roll.
1 success.
Okay. You were like, just come. Tell me what you say to him. I'm sorry.
All right. Nice. Very smart. Very good. Now we're just walking hands down. We're friends.
This man has a gun. This man has a gun, and he's pointing at you.
My uncle's.
Jen Brown, you are now over at the sidewalk as well. You're over with them now as well. And you see the scene, which is Curtis has put a gun into this guy's back. And he's like, he has a gun. And people are starting to turn and look at all of you.
Do I have any more juice in the tank?
Let's see. I mean, I think that let's find out actually by having you roll, your, let's see. I don't know how much blood you drank, you know, I know that you drank some blood, you drank some vodka. Let's have you roll your blood alchemy, your thin blood alchemy, along with your resolve to see if you can get a little extra oomph out of your powers.
Okay, 1 success.
Okay, 1 success. I'm gonna say you can try something. You can try something.
What I want to do is compel him to basically like laugh and act like it was a gag.
Okay, great. That's what you're going to try to do.
That you're just buddies, and he's like razzing you, basically.
That's what you're going to try to do, Curtis. What is your action? And you can kind of let Jen Brown do that, or you can kind of take something that augments it, or you can do your own thing. What do you want to do?
I mean, if I see this take effect, I'm going to put my arm up from around his shoulder and be like, ha, 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 and just try to move him again into a private space.
Okay, so you're kind of seeing if this works. So go ahead and make that roll.
What is the roll?
Yeah, it is going to be you're like really like you're trying to like get your blood to like bubble up and like do its magic, and it's going to be a manipulation plus dominate roll.
Okay. Oh, come on. 2 successes.
He critically failed.
Yes! Sorry, I got excited.
I'm excited.
What do you say to him?
I'm gonna go up and say, "You're going to laugh, and you're gonna act like this was just a big joke." And Curtis is going to put it, and I'm not gonna say his name. He's gonna put his arm around you, and you're gonna walk off laughing.
Okay. So you're going to laugh like this was all a big joke. And all of a sudden the guy goes, it's all a big joke.
Great. I move him with my arm around him like, but Dad, you can't do this. And is there somewhere nearby where that is like a dark space? If not, then I could take him back to the car.
Both of you know that compel lasts for not very long. And that it already now you can see the smile starting to like break from his face. So yes, you got to go. So I think you need to roll something to get him. The car's not far. The car is parked over like almost up onto the sidewalk. You need to right now control him in some way. That sounds like what you're trying to do. Let me know what you do.
Okay, I want to get him either to maybe the car's the best. Are the windows shaded in any way?
Not in the car, no.
Is there a nearby dark alley?
There is the alley that you've pulled the car into. It's like a block down. You know, it's like
an alley that we pull the car into. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to push him over there fast as possible.
Okay. As you start to do that, actually, I want to see something. Great. Okay, I want you to go ahead and make your. I think that you're making a. How would this work? I think that you've caught him off guard, so you can push him that way if you'd like to. But what I need from you is a stealth roll to kind of do it all kind of, nothing is happening here. So give me a dexterity plus stealth roll. Jen Brown, what are you doing this turn?
Let's see. I'm going to... Have people kind of gone back to what they were doing?
Actually, Jen Brown, make a wits plus awareness roll for asking that question.
Oh, damn it. Okay, wits plus awareness. 5. Okay. Four successes.
Jen Brown, someone like a girl, a college age girl, with like light brown hair and like a hoodie is
Oh,
going
fuck.
toward all of you. How'd you do on your stealth roll, Curtis?
5 successes.
Haha, great. I think that you, for whatever reason, it's part of your training. Extraction, I don't know, but you know how to like get your arm around someone and get them in a car like quick. So you guys are up at the car now. Jen Brown notices this girl who's about to take a photo of everybody. She might not get a very good photo based on Curtis's master whammy of successes there. But Jen Brown, in this new round, what would you like to do?
I'd like to accidentally bump someone into her line of shot and then go like, oh, sorry, and keep moving.
Great. Give me a dexterity plus subterfuge roll. Curtis, you're just getting him in the car. You've made it to the car with him. You're just getting him to the car. You're getting him inside, or were you taking him into the alley? Where would you like to take him?
Yeah, I think is the car situated in such a way where if I kind of put us both kind of like in front of it, we're concealed from
I think
view?
so. I think so. Yeah.
Great. Or yeah, let's see if I can get him into the. No, I get him into the back seat.
Okay. Suddenly, you're in there with Sabrina, the
Indigo.
pit bull, who he remembers very well. His hand is a mess. Sabrina, the pit bull, and you and him are all crammed in this back seat. How'd your roll go, Jen Brown?
2 successes.
Jen Brown, you knock into her, and she's like, "Fuck!"
Sorry.
But when she looks at you, you don't look like it or any of that.
Ooh.
Whatever, it's fine.
You broke up a little bit, Jared.
Okay.
Didn't
You
catch
don't
that
look
last
like
bit.
you're part. You don't like you're part of some conspiracy. You look like a girl that she'd want to be friends with. So when you bump into her, she's like, "Fine, it's fine."
Yeah, sorry. And then I just walk off like I'm walking down the street. No big deal. And I'm going to kind of go the long way around. I mean, no one saw where Curtis went though, huh?
They did because he nailed that stealth roll. So
Okay, I'll just go right to where they are then because I'm not worried about. I'm going to walk casually as if I'm just walking down the street, but since no one knows that he took him over there.
Great. The new scene is that you have them. You're all in the car, and unless Jen Brown wants to stay outside for some reason, you're there, and you can have a conversation or decide what's happening next.
I'm done fucking
He's
talking.
sitting here with his like blooding. Yeah.
I grab him by the back of his fucking Wallachian tonsure and I put my fucking teeth in his neck.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what happens. He is the first person you've ever fed on who, as you're feeding, doesn't just go limp. He just sits there going, no, and then he starts like talking in Latin again, like really intently, but he is aware that you have overpowered him. Sabrina is like,
Brina.
And she starts to open the door to try to get out. Ruby is like toward her, so she stops because you set Ruby to guard her. But Sabrina, let's see how Sabrina is doing in terms of her mental health.
He's a vampire hunter, eh? I think he must be.
Okay. She barely keeps it together because once again, Jen Brown's like, Brina, and she's just like sitting there with like her face covered in tears. How much do you drink, Curtis?
I want to drink him unconscious, but I don't want to kill him.
Cool. Let's see if you can control that.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I want a composure roll, and then I want to add what just roll your humanity.
Oh, okay. What so every current chit of humanity I've got?
Every current. How many do you have? 6, I believe.
That's
Or
right.
is it 5?
It's 6.
Okay, and do you have any stains
I
currently?
have 1 stain.
Okay, you know what? Go ahead and make that into a lower roll. Take 1 die off of that roll.
Okay, and it's composure plus whatever that is.
No, I think just your humanity.
Just
Sorry,
humanity.
I changed my mind.
So rather than 6, I'm rolling 5.
Yeah, I think so.
1 success.
That's not enough. You continue to drink, and you continue to drink, and Jen, you're like, oh my god, you guys are just in this alley, and you watch as the guy gets really white, and then he's like talking in Latin a little slower, and then suddenly he says something very strongly in Latin, and then he topples over. And Curtis, you come up like,
Curtis! I'm getting us out of here. I'm going to hop in the driver's seat.
Great.
And I'm going to start driving.
I can I come out of my reverie to be like, here, I know where to take us.
Where?
And I give her the address to Lonigan's.
Well, I know where that is, right? I've been there before.
Yes.
We've met him there before, Churchill.
Yes, you have. And so
I thought we said we were going to talk about this before we just brought her to him.
We're going to take her there now.
You are his fucking lapdog.
Yeah. You see what happens when the people you can't control start blabbing all over town?
There's another option.
What?
We don't take her to Churchill. We take her to Miss Sonia.
And then what?
She's way more likely to ghoul her, properly do it, and let her live. Churchill's the fucking law and order guy. He's not going to let her walk around. He's not going to turn her into a fucking vampire ghouler. He's going to kill her. You know he's going to kill her.
How you think he's going to react to us going behind his back?
Miss Sonia's powerful. He's not going to just fuck over her adopted child. It'll put you guys on the outs, but she could protect us.
Curtis, you can make an intelligence plus politics roll about this.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you guys are giving me chills. Chills.
I have no politics, but let's see. Am I now? I had 1 hunger. Am I now at like 0 hunger? Because
I think temporarily. I wouldn't let that last even all night. But for this scene, 0 hunger.
2 successes.
I think that you know that Churchill's going to be very happy that I think Jen has been saying this guy's some kind of vampire hunter. Churchill's going to be very happy about how this guy is not going back to talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. So you have 2 cards right now, Curtis. You've got that card and the Sabrina card. You can play them any way you want, but you have those 2 cards, and that's all I'll say. Sorry.
I consider it. I look at the clock, and it's now what, like midnight? Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I like look down for a second and look back. Whatever Miss Sonia's gonna do to ghoul her, it's gotta happen tonight. And it's gotta happen well before sunup. I'm taking her to Churchill tonight as a ghoul or as she is now. So whatever happens with Miss Sonia, just be convincing. Because she can't talk to anyone like she is now, other than him.
You guys realize that Sabrina's been sitting there and listening to everything you're saying. But
she's seen everything.
Yeah, she's kind of like this now.
She's seen everything. She knows too much. You know it, and I know it. So, if you can't get her under control in the next few hours, I'm sorry, but you turned her loose on the town to tell whoever, whatever. See if you can clean it up. And if you can't, then I will. And I sit back down and
I start driving us to Miss Sonia's.
Soon you arrive at the Kowalski's residence in Polish Hill. And the windows are dark, except for you look up, and this house has one kind of gable window way up in the top, right near the peak of the roof, and that light is on.
I go up to the door. I know the score. I know about the family. Whoever opens it, I'm just going to say, I need to see Sonia.
Middle-aged man answers it in his like slippers and bathrobe and lets you in. Sabrina is just like kind of catatonic. Are you just kind of like drawing her along behind you, or are you keeping her in the car?
I'm going to keep her in the car first and talk to Sonia one-on-one.
I'd also, before we go up there, I'd like to transfer the body of Wallace Shawn into the trunk.
Great. This is a kind of an area where there's plenty of dark little wooded corners that you probably found a moment to do that. So he is dead in your trunk right now.
And Sabrina's being watched by Ruby again, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You are soon in the attic, and Miss Sonia, you can see, is like looking through many different papers. Looks like people have written her notes and written accounts of things that she's reviewing, and she's like, "Darling, what a pleasant surprise! I'm so happy when my children come to see me. But you look distressed, my dove. What is wrong?"
I need to ask you another favor.
Oh dear. Well, I think that is what two you owe me, isn't it?
Yep.
I gave you the means to get your company back. And what is happening tonight, dear?
I know that this just seems like a personal matter, but this is advantageous to you. The woman who is the acting CEO of my company, I need to have her under control. Not killed, but the way that this family seems to be under control, apparently I can't do it. I need your help. And having her under our control is advantageous because we have an ally in a very powerful company.
Yes. No, I agree. How wonderful to you repay your debt to me in this way. You have brought me your friend Sabrina as a gift. Yes? She belongs to me now.
Yeah, she belongs to you now.
Bring her upstairs. I will care for her.
Can I,
Waffle.
can I stay while you do whatever you're going to do?
I don't think so. It's important for you to understand that she belongs to Clan Nosferatu now. We should have educated you children on the ways of the kindred. You see, before you make another vampire, you must ask the prince. And before you may make a ghoul, you must ask the head of your clan.
I see.
I am the head of your clan. I give you permission to make this person a ghoul, but they belong to me now. It's time for you to get some distance from her and understand your relationship has changed.
But she'll be alive.
She will be alive a very, very long time.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, am I here for this? Did we establish that? Am I outside?
You can be, if Jen says it's okay, you can be here for this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I'd kind of like to emerge from the whatever.
You come up the
Hallway.
stairs from the you come up the attic stairs. Yeah, you're there.
And of course, we'll need to have her back.
You want to have her back tonight?
That's right.
Let me make some calls. And then the next couple hours, she's like on a rotary phone in the kitchen downstairs, and several very grotesque-looking individuals arrive at the house. 3, in fact. All 3 of them are definitely members of Clan Nosferatu. And of course, they don't have like pointed ears or pointed heads. Like, they just look like people whose faces are off, whose the way they move is kind of wrong. Like, there's just something repulsive about them.
Can I say, sorry,
Yes.
not to interrupt.
No, absolutely. Go ahead.
Can I take, after we talk to Miss Sonia, and maybe even before she does the rotary phone thing, could I take Curtis outside, out of earshot of anyone, and talk to him for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
These are the times when I would normally have a cigarette, but I don't really want those anymore.
She's better off dead, isn't she?
She just might be. Is it better to be dead or a slave?
Dead, I would think.
But you'll get to keep her around?
What would you want?
Well, that's the thing. You don't know what you want. When you're like her, something else is doing the wanting for you. She'll be their slave, but she'll love it.
This is my last chance to either do this or we could just tell Churchill where she is.
I gotta get her there. I gotta bring her to him.
So there's no stopping this now.
I can only bring her there as a ghoul or as she is now. It seems like the wheels are already in motion. But if I bring her as a fully made woman, then if she's loyal to them, then she won't go spilling her guts all over town. He might not have any cause to kill her. He might have enslaved her himself. Who knows?
I'm going to say that this conversation took place while Miss Sonia was gathering her soldiers. And at this point, the gathered members of Clan Nosferatu come out of the house to where you all are standing, including Miss Sonia. And she goes, Clan Nosferatu is ready to treat with the sheriff of Pittsburgh. And she starts moving into a big black SUV parked on the street, and Sabrina is walking along with her and the other members of Clan Nosferatu.
Wait. Hold on. So
What's going on?
She belongs to us now. You said that you need to take her to the sheriff, and so we will all go together. This is the best thing for her, Jen Brown.
is she? Is the sheriff expecting us? All of us? He's expecting you?
No one expects me, darling. I'm always a surprise.
All right. Okay.
Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to let you know that you return to Lonergan's with the members of Clan Nosferatu at like 3 in the morning. And Miss Sonia explains in no uncertain terms that Sabrina belongs to Clan Nosferatu, that she was ghouled to Clan Nosferatu the entire time, and that they are willing to take responsibility for her crimes and educate her as she needs to be educated. Churchill looks furious, like, and in fact, you see him like barely hold down like a frenzy, but
God.
he eventually like accepts
Father.
the situation. Yes, he accepts the situation. The whole time they're having this conversation, Curtis, you're probably focused on Churchill. Jen Brown, you should know that Sabrina is like kind of standing there behind the other members of Clan Nosferatu, and she doesn't seem like a zombie anymore. She's like really kind of like flush and like filled with blood, and like she looks like just like she's like radiating health. But at one point she turns to look at you, and the way her head moves is like, and she looks at you for a second. She kind of moves like them now. She looks at you, and then she looks away back to where Miss Sonia is talking. And Jen Brown, you take a stain on your humanity.
Sure, I would.
I think you will. I'm gonna say.
How do I put that?
I think that here's what happens. In the little sheets we're using are not great for them, but I think you already had one. I think that you did. Did you heal it when you saved Sabrina? I don't think that you did, because you immediately fed her blood.
Yeah.
So you now have 2 stains. When your stains start, they start from the other side of the sheet and go toward where the humanity dots are. And when the 2 start to meet, like the night when you tell me, oh, my stain just should go in the space where I already have a humanity dot, we're going to start rolling to see if Jen's humanity goes away. But I don't think that's happened yet, right?
No,
She's just,
it hasn't.
It did happen.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, good. So she hasn't lost any humanity yet, but when she sees that her touchstone, the person in her life who connected her still to the human world, has now been made inhuman. You know what? Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm the storyteller, and I've got to say, it's 2 stains. It's 2 stains. Does that bring her to where she's going to maybe lose humanity?
Yes.
Okay. We need to make a degeneration roll.
God, what does that mean?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna have Clint. Are you there? If you're listening, I want you to look up exactly how we do that, and that's gonna happen at the end of this session, right after I have this final closing scene with Curtis. So Clint's gonna make sure we do the degeneration roll correctly. But right now, I'm gonna say Jen Brown's story is over for tonight, and Curtis has to deal with Churchill Jackson. It's hours before dawn, and Clan Nosferatu, even Jen Brown, everybody is kind of moving out of the bar.
I asked her to leave me to the Taurus.
Yes, the car is still yours. Well, what the fuck was that? You blindsided me with Sonia?
I got blindsided myself. Let's say that this little tonight's little venture got a little complicated.
I don't think it's complicated. I sent you to do something for me, and you gave the ball to Nosferatu.
Well, if it's any consolation, I have some intelligence for you.
What intelligence?
What Miss Sonia maybe neglected to tell you was that this lady, whatever, she was hungry for blood, obviously, seeking out rival dealers. It wasn't sitting too right with her. So she she made contact with somebody who could help her with her problem. When we tracked her down, or when I went over to her, she was in conversation with the person who'd offered to give her a hand. Now, this particular individual was none too happy to see us, but seemed to know all about us, speaking a lot of Latin, armed to the teeth for us.
Where is he?
Follow me.
He follows you out back. He looks at the body. He pulls open the guy's shirt. There's this huge crucifix tattoo on his chest. This little Wallace Shawn guy has like Russian mafia level like crucifix tattoo. He looks at you and he goes, "You improvised."
Exactly. When you make plans, God laughs.
Curtis, we're good. Take a night off and then see me on Monday. We've got work to do.
You got it.
Gain a point of willpower.
Okay.
That you've lost. I think that you've done enough in this session to do that. And I think, unless you have any further business, we have ended tonight's session.
Yeah, maybe I just leave the car or leave the car with him if he wants to clean it up. And the last thing we see through is just the street lights of Pittsburgh is a man and his dog take a long walk home.
Excellent. That was amazing. Really well done tonight. Let's not celebrate too much though, because we have a very somber thing to do now in our gameplay. We must find out if Jen Brown. Okay. If a character accumulates more stains than they have empty boxes on their humanity attack, they become impaired, resulting in a 2 dice penalty to all pulls in this case. Not forever, don't worry. And as they are overcome with regret, they take aggravated willpower damage for each stain that could not fit, 1. And in this state, the character is incapable of further intentional tenant violations. They must test for terror frenzy at difficulty 4. If forced to commit a tenant violation. Okay, wait. How do we get to where we see whether she loses humanity or not? The impaired condition remains until the end of the session. Then when remorse is tested. I need the remorse roll. What do you make for the remorse roll?
I also only have, I don't know if I was meant to gain willpower back at the end of my story, but I only have 1 willpower right now.
I think that you did. You did gain some willpower back at the end of your story for saving your company.
How much would I have gotten back?
Oh, okay. You would get 1, just 1. And so you had 2, and you've taken some aggravated willpower damage, meaning it can't go higher than, what was your original willpower rating? I think it was,
I don't remember.
It's your resolve plus composure. What's your resolve plus composure?
Resolve plus composure. Oh, it was only 3, I guess.
Okay, so now your max, right for now, while you have that willpower damage, the maximum amount of willpower you can have is 2.
Okay.
And that's where you're at right now. Okay, I figured it out. Here we go. You're going to roll your humanity that is not touched.
Okay.
By that stain.
Okay.
And see how you do.
Do hunger dice play in? Or
they do not for this roll.
Okay. I do have a lot of humanity. Critical success.
That's good. Remove all the stains from your character sheet. You suffer a tremendous amount of remorse, guilt, and shame over what has happened. So you don't lose any humanity. You continue to keep all of your humanity. What an incredible session. I want to thank, again, Ashley Burch and Ross Bryant.
Put us in a whole lot of pickles.
Well, and I think we've created new pickles, because I'm going to tell Jen Brown that she's going to have a lot of trouble if she doesn't get her friend out of this situation somehow. But it looks like that's going to be a long, ongoing project. And in addition to that, Churchill Jackson definitely has some plans for the entire coterie. Curtis needs to report for duty soon. And I don't know if you caught the Miles episode, but
I
there's
sure
some
did.
interesting things going on there as well.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that we have so many really fucked up situations to explore. And I wouldn't have these situations without the tremendous role playing of these players. So please, everybody in the chat, give them a digital round of applause. Ross Bryant and Ashley Burch. Thank you guys again.
Oh,
Thank you.
It was a blast.
Fun.
We'll see you very soon. We're going to say goodbye to them for now. I'm going to hang out in the stream for just a little bit longer, and I'm going to say like us, follow us on Twitch, join our Twitter account, Stream of Blood. Also, follow us on Instagram. Be an Instagram follower. What are the other social medias? Oh, we have a Facebook group. Join that. We post stuff on that. And that way you'll always know when we have to move to a Friday night or when we're adding super cool games like tomorrow night's Blades in the Dark, starring our one and only Curtis Krieger, Ross Bryant, and the guys from the Glass Cannon podcast. I'm going to do a brief recap of everything that happened in all of our solo sessions. While I'm doing that, if you have questions ready, give them, put them in the chat and Clint will find them. In our first solo session, Jen Brown, she found out that her company was being sold. And when she investigated, she found out that Sabrina was under the control of a Ventru vampire. He had dominated her. He had used his presence on her, and he was getting her to sell Jen Brown's company, Grouper Technologies, to Flowcom and the Ventru clan of vampires. She acted quickly. She got the whole coterie together, Miles and Curtis. They thought about what to do. Eventually, they ended up going to Miss Sonia, and through Miss Sonia, they found dirt on the Ventru. They took it to Churchill Jackson, the sheriff of Pittsburgh, the vampire sheriff of Pittsburgh, and as a group, they busted Obadiah Griffin, the Ventru primogen, the head of the Ventru clan in Pittsburgh, and he's been taken into custody by the Camarilla. In fact, there are a bunch of people in the basement, the sub-basement of the U.S. Steel building right now, awaiting an Archon who's going to come and try them for their crimes. They're being interrogated, and they're waiting for their, perhaps their moment in the sun. The side effect of that adventure with Jen Brown was that at the very last moment, Stephen Francis, the kind of second in command of Obadiah Griffin, took Sabrina hostage, took her to Grouper, had her in his control, was trying to bargain, but Jen Brown showed up, and she did some weird thin blood alchemy. She suddenly frenzied while using her thin blood alchemy of Move the Mind and did full carry and blasted him into next week with telekinesis. And the very last thing she did in order to keep Sabrina safe, she thought, was feed her thin blood. Now, we know she's a thin blood vampire, so she can't create the blood bond, which is why in this session a couple things happen. I'll get to that in a minute. Miles Vanderbuck, he was approached by Adelaide Ross, the Prince of Pittsburgh, who told him that Obadiah Griffin, the head of the Ventru who had been taken into custody, had some unfinished business. There was a canister down at a Flowcom terminal in McKees Rocks near the bridge, a cargo terminal, the kind of place Miles used to work in. And she asked him to go and find out what's in it. So Miles and Curtis went down there in a little boat. They did some commando stuff. They had to kind of mind whammy some guards. They got the canister open, and Bex, where is that coming from? Bex, the vampire who was she was Sheriff Churchill Jackson's kind of soldier at the very beginning of our series, but she got labeled as an anarch because of the actions of our characters. Bex came out of the canister completely feral, attacked him. There was a fight. They got Bex back into the canister, and then Miles used the machinery to drop the canister into the Ohio River. This was an enormous fuck up in the eyes of the Camarilla, and the Prince of Pittsburgh, Adelaide, showed Miles all of the boxes in the sub-basement of the U.S. Steel building that had the names of Obadiah Griffin and the other vampires who were in custody on them, and she showed him a box that had his name on it. And she said there was only one way that he could make it up to her and not go in that box. And she offered her wrist. He tried to resist, but the blood bond was too strong already from 2 sips, and he went in for the third. He is now bound by the blood to Adelaide Ross, the Prince of Pittsburgh. In this session, it was revealed that our friend Sabrina, who Jen Brown had tried to ghoul unsuccessfully, was running around going to like fetish clubs trying to get more blood. This is because, and I want to make a strong point of this if it was unclear, I have decided that Jen Brown's thin blood, and thin blood works in all kinds of weird and unpredictable ways, did have an addictive quality for Sabrina, but had no other powers. It did not give her disciplines, longevity, healing. It did not blood bond her in any way. And that's why Sabrina was able to, be told to do things by Jen Brown and then go do her own thing. Curtis was given the job of bringing in Sabrina. He and Jen Brown went to Jen's apartment where Sabrina was staying. They found that Jen was meeting with somebody. They went to the place where the meet was taking place, and they met an interesting little man who was trying to get Sabrina to get into his car. No, it wasn't something creepy like that. It was even creepier. It was the Catholic Church. The guy seemed to be some sort of vampire hunter or investigator. And his tactics were not direct confrontation, but often like yelling for help on a crowded street and running. But Curtis made some tremendous rolls. So did Jen Brown. And they eventually took him down. They got him under control. They got him in their power. And that's when Curtis gave into the beast and fed on him until he was dead. Jen Brown begged Curtis to take Sabrina to Miss Sonia instead of Churchill. Miss Sonia accepted this gift. Sabrina now belongs to Clan Nosferatu. And Churchill may have broken with Curtis if Curtis hadn't revealed that he destroyed a vampire hunter that night. He potentially saved Pittsburgh's Camarilla from an even bigger threat than Sabrina. And so Churchill and Curtis are good for now. And that's our complete recap. Are there any questions or comments from anybody in the chat? Okay. Oh, here we go. Was this a situation where the players just surprised the hell out of you? Yeah, over and over again, actually. They surprised the hell out of me. And hey, Aldrin. Aldrin is a guy who's played in my games and who is an awesome role player. And I'm so happy that you come and hang out with us all the time. Thank you, Aldrin. So was the guy for sure a vampire hunter? Well, I don't know. You tell me. He talks in Latin when you bite him, and he has a giant cross tattoo on his chest, even though he speaks, or he looks like Wallace Shawn. Something was going on with that guy. Maybe we'll find out more later. We've got several players pushing toward key parts of the characters being lost or tainted. Where do you stand on letting players dig themselves out of things versus playing into the things get worse theme of VTM? Great question, Pyre Hand. Well, I think that my favorite thing about role-playing games, and the only thing they have over TV or film, is that they are open-ended. So I need to inform my players clearly where they stand and what might happen if they continue in their, the kind of actions they're taking, and then let them decide. Because for some players, it's actually really fun to do that kind of, degeneration into darkness, that like kind of fall from grace. For other players, it might be more fun to redeem themselves. So I want to leave it up to them. I want to be surprised, like Aldrin said. Where was I surprised? My ideal game is one where I'm just like, I have to just throw out the adventure and react to the players, because that means I'm getting to improv with some very talented people, and that makes me excited. Did Curtis have true faith? He did not. Did the guy that Curtis bite have true faith? I don't want to reveal that, but you can look at the rules and maybe make some decisions about that. Maybe make some conclusions about that. I would love that. I will say we're in like the midst of plans to do some big things coming up very soon. Not exactly with LA by Night. I don't want to say that. I would love that. Love that. But I just say that we're involved with like a lot of stuff we're getting ready that keeps us a little busy right now. But if somewhere down the line we could have a Pittsburgh LA crossover, I think that would be the coolest. The coolest. Okay. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sharing this vampiric journey with us. I can see the sun is coming up, so it's time for me to leave. Thank you, Burn You Bad. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go and head to my coffin. Until next time, #GetPink. Love you all. See you later.